Hey there, friends. Um, Obviously, based on the title of this video, um, Tyler is no longer with us as of today. I'm going to try my best to hold it together mentally to at least get this recorded. And while some people out there may see this and think that it's a weird thing to do, I feel it's appropriate because a lot of you guys who listen to my channel knew who Tyler was. And it's, in my opinion, the right thing to do to come on here and tell you all that he's gone. As of this morning, around I think it was around 10:40 to 11, somewhere in there, we unfortunately had to take him in to have him put down. Now, obviously, this may come as a surprise to some of you guys who have been around for just a little bit and seen the stuff with Tyler that's been going on. And to tell you guys that it's a surprise for us too is an understatement. We didn't expect to have to do this today. We didn't expect to have to do it at all. It's not something we wanted to do. And it's not something that we anticipated having to do. So, I guess to kind of start some information, since I want this video to not only be this announcement, but to also be a bit of a memorial, in memoriam for him. For those of you who don't know who Tyler is or was, he was just this orange tabby that we owned. We became acquainted with Tyler back around 2018, about a year, that we moved in here. He belonged to our neighbor at the time. He was still very little, but he belonged to our neighbor, Carl, at the time. Carl was a troubled individual, is a troubled individual. This isn't about him, but he belonged to Carl, so the house next door, which was kind of a halfway house to some extent. It no longer is, but he belonged to Carl. But Tyler spent a lot of time over here because, we fed him outside, and he was very friendly with us as a baby, basically. Because he was not always an indoor cat over there. They let him out sometimes. Then, at one point, basically, Carl got told he couldn't keep the cat, so they just booted him outside and put his cat box out on the back step, which was stupid and unacceptable. So at that point, we started bringing Tyler in. That was probably 6 months after we met him, so it wasn't that long that Carl actually owned him a lot, or like fully. And then Carl went to prison, so we took Tyler in as a full pet around that time. He was indoor-outdoor for a while. After a bit, we kind of started leaning heavily into bringing him indoors instead of having him be both, because we don't live in like a small town, like farm area. We live in a city, a suburb. And the last thing I wanted was for him to get hit by a car or something like that. So we brought him in full-time, and we took him to a vet to get him fixed at that point in time, only to find out that he was already fixed, number one, which was surprising because our intention was to try to calm him down because he was very hyper, very loud, very chasey with our other cats, which doesn't work because one of our other cats is 18, 19 years old now, so she can't be chased. It doesn't work for her. And she didn't like him, and Patience's cat didn't like him, and he didn't like her, and so we wanted to calm him down was the point. We found out he was already fixed, and we also found out at that time that he had FELV, which is feline leukemia virus, which meant that he had basically no immune system. So, at that time, whenever we were told that, they kind of told us that it was a rough thing for them to go through, but there was a full chance that he would just never be affected by it. And we took that chance. We accepted it. We brought him home. We kept him in from that point on. He has not been an outdoor cat since the middle of last year. And he adapted really well. He gained a lot of weight. So anyway, so we had him indoors, and that was, I think, really whenever I started posting about him, talking about him, because he was fully ours, and yeah, he became a chubby cat, a good old chubby tabby. So moving on, going forward to what happened as far as his health goes. In August, he started having accidents on the floor. He started urinating on the carpet in the basement and in the kitchen, in the tile near the sink. Very unlike him. He's never had those issues. He never had those issues. So we took him to the vet from there, and we were told it was most likely a UTI, because that's typically what cats do whenever they have UTIs. They start to associate the cat box with being in pain. They go have accidents, basically. So we got him antibiotics, and that was a dramatic situation. He hated those. He took them very dramatically. The liquid ones were not really an option. I don't know if you've ever seen a cat foam at the mouth. Not like rabid foaming, but just like taking something in and then just spitting out foam. It's unsettling. It was kind of creepy, but he was stressed. He was freaking out and he hated it. So we got him on an antibiotic pill, and we had him take most of that. For, I say August, I think it may have actually been October, but it's irrelevant. He was doing okay. He was still a little evasive, a little lethargic, but he was still himself for the most part. Then on the 1st of November, literally the morning after my Halloween stream, I was downstairs, and Patience brought him down here to use the box, because he's very picky about boxes. We have a box upstairs that he didn't want to use. He wanted to use one down here always, so that's fine. And whenever she brought him down, he got sick, and then he had an episode where he couldn't walk. He fell over, he was leaning against the washer and dryer, he was freaking out, he was panting. We got him in here, we calmed him down. I calmed him down. I got him in the chair and just face-to-face talked to him and petted him, and he settled. He was still sort of leaning from walking, or during walking and such, but from there, we got him to an emergency veterinarian. I've posted about this. That was not a good visit. They were very uncaring and basically told us, put him down now because it's not worth trying, and I hate them for that. I will say that straight out loud. I hate them for that. You should never say that to somebody. It should have been offered as a calm thing, but it was very much pay us $6,500 for 10 blood transfusions and to keep him for a week where he might die anyways, or just put him down now because it's not worth it. So to them, I hate them, and I will never accept what they said as anything worth its own weight. So irrelevant. Sorry. We got him to our normal vet that day after. And basically they said, hey, yeah, he is. Oh, sorry. From the emergency vet, we found out he was very anemic. Very anemic. And that's why he was having episodes. That's why he was kind of struggling. And okay, fine. We got some information out of it. So I guess that, we got him to his normal vet, and they concurred that he was anemic and that he was having some kidney issues. But they were very optimistic about his prognosis, not saying, hey, it's going to be fine, but saying we could try to turn this around with medication, and there's a good chance. So anyways, we had him on some pills for his kidney function, some pills and something called Porous One, which is a food mix-in to kind of get him helping a little extra. The pill was a struggle. The Porous One I was able to get him to take with yogurt, of all things. He liked yogurt. He didn't like yogurt near the end, but he liked it. And he was more willing to lick it off his lip, kind of thing. So we're treating it. And he seemed like he was kind of turning around. But the problem was, we started noticing, I guess I could say last week. It's only been 11 days since this all started. So, it was late last week. Kind of started noticing that he was he was having a lot of issues with eating. He wasn't wanting to. It was kind of sporadic. Um, he would eat and then he wouldn't eat for what felt like a day or two, and then he would eat and then he wouldn't eat. And he was having um, those episodes, not the collapse episodes, but the freak out episodes where he was panting and breathing super heavy. So we contacted his vet again and said, hey, we want to bring him in. Can you look him over and listen to his lungs and see what's going on? And when we did, and we brought him in, and that was on Friday, actually. They gave him a shot for nausea, because apparently kidney issues and anemia can actually cause major nausea in cats, which can stop them from eating. So they gave him the shot for the nausea medication, and gave us a medication to give him. It was an appetite stimulant. And at that time, I also bought an iron supplement because he wasn't eating the stuff that I made for him, like the chicken livers or the fish or the chicken, just the meat that he needed. So they gave us the medication, and this was all on Friday, mind you. And they sent us home because, yeah, he wasn't in the best shape, but he was still capable of turning it around. Friday. And then yesterday, we gave him the stimulant, the appetite stimulant. We gave him the porous one with the yogurt, like I was doing. Tried to give him his pill, and he freaked out, as he did. So we couldn't. That's the thing. Unfortunately, with him, there were times where we gave him most of his doses, but there were some where we just couldn't, because he would start having these panic attacks and breathing heavily through his mouth and like not being responsive. So we didn't want to just give him a heart attack. It's very sensitive and very delicate. So we had to skip that dose, but I got him his porous one, which is for kidney, and we got him the stimulant. And he seemed upset, but okay. And then last night, it was later. It was like 7 or 8 o'clock. Patients walked into the hallway where the door is, and she was in there for a minute, and I asked her, what's going on? Is he okay? And she was holding him, and he was breathing hard, mouth open, like nose pulling in and out, breathing really, really hard. Like, so he was having those issues where he was doing that if he was winding himself, like running down the stairs, which I knew he shouldn't have been doing because he was having issues, but he's a cat and you can't tell a cat to not run downstairs. No matter how much I would pick him up and bring him down, he would still do it. It was just him. But he was doing that just sitting there. So she held him. We sat there at the door petting him, and he was very affectionate to her. He was very affectionate to me. He was very, very sweet, very cuddly. And then we talked about it. I kind of mentioned that it didn't seem like he was getting better. And I guess to some extent, I think we kind of broke the denial on this, on the situation. Not saying we were in denial, just that we kind of broke the bit of mental denial that we had, that there was a chance he wasn't going to get better. And then, as the night went on, he did start getting worse. We both slept in the living room. She on the couch, me on the floor. He slept on her, but anytime he would get up whatsoever, like stand up, move, he would start gasping. Doing the really heavy mouth breathing. And then I kind of thought on it a little bit, thinking that maybe it was just a response to the medication or something. He was just not doing well with it. He was gonna, maybe it would kind of clear up in the morning or something. I didn't know. I kind of assumed, but I didn't want to just straight condemn him in that situation. So, this morning came, and we got up around 7:30. Not that I slept very well. I was laying on the floor and making sure he was still breathing all night. We got up. She got him on the couch. She went upstairs to get ready to work because she has to work today. Had to work today. Supposed to, at least. She called in, obviously. But she put him on the couch. He jumped down. He, one, didn't even bother to walk to his normal spots where he was having his accidents. He just stepped down, took 2 steps, and urinated because he couldn't do anything. He then tried to walk to the kitchen, and as soon as he did, he got in there, he laid down, he kind of fell over on his side, and he was gasping, like gasping hard, and he couldn't breathe. Hang on, sorry. So, yeah, he was on his side, and he was, I think gasping is the only word I could think to say, but it felt like it was way more than that. He was struggling to get any oxygen. He was mouth open, eyes open. He was reaching out towards the wall because he was uncomfortable. And as soon as I saw that, I knew that it was time to let go. So, patient stayed in the kitchen with him. She petted him. She was holding him. And I walked out to get some logistics taken care of with it. I called some places, and I found one that was a 24/7 that was, reasonable, I guess, in price. Not that I really cared about money. I don't. But, so we took him up there, did all the talking to the people, and went back to the room, and, he was okay in there for a moment, and then he noticed he wasn't at home and he was somewhere else, and kind of started freaking out. And then they had to take him to put the catheter in him. And whenever he came back, he was gasping, and he was not in a good way. So we held him for a while, and I called the doctor in, and they did what had to be done. I want to let those who are listening know that he went very, very quickly. He was very tired. He was very, very tired. Whenever they gave him the sedative, she was worried that it might take a little extra time because of how anemic he was. But whenever they gave him the sedative, he was unconscious immediately. There was no struggle. There was no confusion. There was nothing there. It was just, he was asleep, and he was completely asleep. And then they yeah. So the unfortunate conclusion is that, obviously, Tyler is no longer with us. At least not physically anymore. He was very loved by me, by patients, by all of you who enjoyed his pictures that I posted, and listening to him in the video with it. I think he was in one of the bloopers videos because he started meowing while I was recording. Whenever he came up on the live streams and purred against the microphone. I don't know if any of you were there for that. He was very loved, though. And of course, I want to say thank you to all of you for the love, the support, the kind words, the thoughts, the prayers for him and for us. And while this is not easy or painless in any way, shape, or form, the love and support from all of you guys has been tremendous. And again, thank you so very much for all that. I know this is awkward. This is a weird video. It's just, it's easier for me to just tell you guys than make this long-winded community post saying that he's not with us. I'd rather say it, if that makes sense. But yeah, so I don't plan to not work. This is my work. This is work. So I don't plan to not work for very long, but and I know I've had to take so many days off and not post these silly videos because of this stuff, but I think I need a little bit of time, probably today and tomorrow, and then I'll try to be back on Wednesday with some stories for you guys. But as you can clearly hear in my voice, I'm a pretty broken 32-year-old man bawling over a cat. So, I guess I'm just wanting to make this, for a slight sense of finality, a little bit of closure and everything. I just say that while he is gone, he is, not was, he is loved so very much. And I'm going to miss him. And, yeah, throughout the video, there's been, if you guys haven't looked, it's been pictures that I have of him. I went through all my pictures in my camera roll on my phone, and I downloaded them so I could have them on the screen to shuffle through, like I said, in a bit of memoriam. Because again, he is loved, and he will absolutely be missed. And yeah, that's all. I'm sorry I didn't have better news for you guys. But until I come back around to talk to you guys again here soon, remember that you are loved. And if you have pets, make sure they know they're loved too. Give them a nice squeeze for Tyler, okay? And again, thank you all. And until next time, sleep well.